The wheels are locked, the gears are still, against the weight, against the will, the first degree, the hardest push, the fire within the burning bush. Alchemists spoke of the primum mobile, the first mover. They knew that the most dangerous moment is not the middle of the work, it is the beginning of the work. The moment where the leaden weight of nothing must be turned into something. They knew that the universe is lazy. It wants to stay exactly where it is. The world is held together by the glue of not yet. Welcome back to the Simple Tapes. This is your friend Vinny. It is a sunny but chilly Sunday here in the Rust Belt. I'm sitting at my study desk in my bedroom. I'm looking at the old cast iron radiator heating up my room. I need to move it 10 feet to the left. I know that once it starts sliding, it will be easy. But right now, it feels like it is bolted to the center of the earth. I've been staring at it for 20 minutes, just waiting for the motivation to hit. But spoiler alert, the motivation never hits. Today, we are looking at the static coefficient. We are moving out of the shop and into the field. We are talking about why the hardest work you will ever do is the work of the first 5 seconds. This is season 3 of the Simple Tapes. In physics, we have 2 types of friction, static and kinetic. Static friction is what keeps an object at rest. Kinetic friction is what opposes it while it is moving. And here's the trick. The static coefficient is almost always higher. It takes more energy to break the molecular bond between the radiator and the floor than it does to slide it across the room. Once you overcome that initial resistance, the physics actually get easier. The cost of the movement drops. We forget this in our daily lives. We wait until we feel like doing the work. We wait for the inspiration to grade the papers or hit the gym. But inspiration is a kinetic force. It only exists once you are already moving. The start is purely a struggle against the static coefficient. It is a brute force calculation. When I was a young'un, my folks and I visited a railway station by a coal plant. I watched a steam locomotive try to pull 100 coal cars up a slight grade. The engineer opened the throttle, the steam hissed, the metal groaned, but the wheels did not move. They just sat there, locked against the rails. The engineer didn't give up. He did something counterintuitive. He put the engine in reverse. He backed up just a few inches, enough to put a tiny bit of slack into the couplings between the cars. Then he slammed it forward. He didn't try to pull 100 cars at once. He used that slack to pull the first car, then the second, then the third. By the time the 100th car felt the pull, the engine was already moving. He cheated the static coefficient by breaking the all into a series of ones. I am a master of the not yet. I am a procrastinator by design. I spent years waiting for the perfect moment to start my research or to record these tapes. I thought that if the resistance was high, it meant I wasn't ready. I mistook the static coefficient for a sign from the universe that I should stay still. But I was just afraid of the push. I was afraid of the grunt and the strain of the first inch. I had to learn how to find the slack in my own life. I had to learn that the first 5 minutes of any task are going to feel like a failure. It was painful to realize that my waiting was just a form of friction. My procrastination was just a form of friction. A machine that only runs when it feels like it is a machine that has already been claimed by the rust. So here's my challenge to you this week. Break the bond. Identify one thing that you've been waiting to start. Not a big thing, just a mundane task that has become a permanent part of the furniture or a permanent part of whatever to-do list you have in your memo or notepad on your phone. This week, do not wait for the feeling. Just provide the brute force required for the first 5 minutes. Push the radiator 1 inch. Write the first sentence. Walk the first block. The physics will take over after that snap. But you yourself have to provide the snap. Overcome the coefficient. Movement is the only cure for the stillness. Trust the push. And hey, one small thing before you go. I was trying to open a new jar of pasta sauce this morning to make some fettuccine alfredo. Rao's is my go-to, nothing else. The vacuum seal on that jar of Rao's was so tight, it felt like the lid was part of the glass. I twisted my hands until it got sore, but nothing happened. I actually took a spoon and then gave the edge of the lid a few sharp taps. I wasn't trying to open it yet. I was just trying to disturb the seal. I was introducing a little bit of slack into the system. I made sure to keep the jar over the counter and not on the floor like Josh Nichols did with his olive jar, causing it to shatter in the Drake and Josh episode, Megan's First Kiss. Fantastic series, by the way. Absolute masterpiece of the early 2000s. Highly recommend it if you have not seen it. I rewatch it time to time. It's one of my comfort shows. Anyway, when I twisted that jar again, the pop was so easy it felt like it opened itself. If you cannot turn the lid, tap the rim. Till next week, this is your friend Vinny. Keep it ordinary, keep it simple.